Welcome to the one, the only tattoo podcast, INKERVIEWS. I'm your host, John.
And I'm Sadie.
Today on our show, we have a guest. Her name is Brittany, and she has a very unique story. Something that we typically don't have the opportunity to interview somebody with this caliber of a story. I'm going to start off by letting you explain to the viewers who you are as a person, where'd you get your start out in life, where are you from, and what kind of family dynamic did you have growing up, siblings, and type of childhood you grew up in.
Wow, we're going that deep. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm Brittany, and I grew up here. And
Where's here?
Here's Spokane, Washington. Not here, though, in the valley. I have no idea where I am, actually, even though I've been here for 30 years. I was here forever. My family, I was a single child until I was 10. Then my mom had 3 kids. And then...
Boys, girls? You got brothers, sisters?
I have 2 brothers and a sister. So my first brother was born when I was 10. Then the second one right after, and then I had a sister a few years later.
So you're the oldest sibling of 4?
By far, yeah.
That's
so
cool.
I was raised way different than my siblings were. Like, I was like, very strict, but not strict. I was spoiled, right? Like, I had a playroom and a bedroom, and
You was the only child till you was 10 years old.
Yeah, yeah, and I was like, just spoiled. Me and my cousin But then I was turning a teenager, and then there's other kids and toddlers running around, and so it was a lot different. And so I ended up leaving home at 15, and
Permanently, you never returned?
well, I left a few times. I think I have like 46 runaway reports on my record. And so when it got nice out, I would just dip out, and then so I didn't finish like 6th, 7th, or 8th grade. Dropped out permanently in 9th grade when it got nice, and took off, and probably was headed down a really bad path, And I met Justin in Hilliard.
So once you basically went through your childhood, how was your schooling? I don't want to jump right into it quite yet. Okay. I just want to paint a little bit better picture of who Brittany is as a person. What kind of schooling did you go through?
Well, I just went to, I was smart. I guess
K through high school?
Yeah, but I dropped out in 9th grade, but I was doing high school math when I was in elementary school. They'd pick me up and take me to high school.
So you're a smart individual.
Yeah, so when I turned 18, finally, then I did go and get my GED, and I passed 98 with it, English and stuff. So school's never been hard.
So at this point, you're 18 years old, and you're out living on your own?
Yeah, but there's way backstory behind that. But yeah, I've been living on my own since I was 15.
Go ahead with the backstory.
Okay, so I was runaway I never was really into doing drugs and stuff like that, and I just kind of kicked back and watched my friends. But I was alone, 15-year-old girl, freaking trying to survive in Spokane in the summer. And so I went to Hilliard Skate Park with my buddy. We were going to go to the mall because my other buddy had checks, and we're going to Zoomies.
Right.
And so we got a ride from this dude, and I'm in the back seat. And he's staring at me with the rearview mirror, and just won't take his eyes off of me while he's driving, and freaking. And then the next day I seen him again after we go, and he wouldn't go in the mall with us or anything. He already knew it was all bad news. I think he was 20 when I met him, but he was with his friend, and then he said, he started hitting on me kind of and then, he said, I'll take care of you or whatever like that. And we went on one date to Applebee's, I think.
And this is Justin?
This is Justin, yes.
Okay.
And so I'm 15. I just met Justin. And we go on my first date, really, because I didn't go to, dances or anything like that. Going to school, I never did any of that. And so my first real date, we're at Applebee's, and I'm, trying to cut a steak, and I'm like this,
You forgot which hand to use the knife in.
You're like, what am I doing?
I'm like, well, I'm just a kid, And he's like, you don't have to be so nervous. I'm like, thank you. Then we go outside and got stoned, and everything was good after that. Right. And then he took me out to Springdale. And that's where he lived. His family has property out there, and I stayed there. That for 2 years. I was a missing person. That's how.
So at 15 years old, you meet this guy. Mm-hmm. He takes you on your first date, and then moves you out to his family's farm or just property.
Yeah, it's property with a house and stuff.
And you're feeling the vibe like this is going somewhere romantically. It's not just a pit stop for you.
Oh, not just a pit stop. No, it was I don't know. I woke up that next morning to smoke bombs coming through where the doorknob is in the bunkhouse. We lived in a bunkhouse.
You're talking about like the firework?
Yeah, smoke
Okay.
bombs. And so and there's all these colors, this blue, and I'm like, what in the hell is going on? Because he's gone. He went to work, so I'm all by myself. And there's laughing outside. I can hear laughing, and it's his brother and his younger cousin, and they have no idea who I am. They just knew I was
They're
in there.
just teasing
And
his
it was
girl.
like, yeah,
With his new
yeah,
girl,
we're
right?
real, brand new,
Being real little brothers, right?
Yeah,
That's what's up.
But they're like teenagers. They're my
Right.
age, and it's like, what in the hell? After that, just I fell in love. I mean, I've been an iCard since that day.
So the family absolutely was a whole package as far as you were concerned.
Even
That's
to
awesome.
this day, yeah.
Yeah, that's always
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's like. Every time I find somebody to be with, their family absolutely despises me, and I don't understand why.
Yeah, I can. Well, I don't know if it's,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
but yeah, no, it was. I mean, I just kind of hit out there. That tells you what kind of people like we were, because I was never in trouble. I mean, from 15 to 17, I literally seen a missing person like thing at a gas station where, hey, do you know this person? And
Right.
I'm like, oh shit, that's me. Maybe I should call my parents and tell them that I'm okay, because I was
Right.
always, the cops would always come get me and then take me runaways,
Right.
And so at 17, I called them and I'm like, hey, I'm alive. I didn't realize that everybody was like concerned that I was missing or anything. I don't know why.
Right.
But
No, yeah, in your mind,
yeah,
nobody
I was
cared.
just living
Yeah,
life,
right.
I was like not going to school. It was kind of boring, but when I think about it now, it was an amazing time,
Right.
but I just sit there and wait for him to get off work, and we smoked pot, and then, that's all. We just kind of lived day by
So
day.
you guys are having the typical young love, fun relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have a job at this point? Is he supporting you?
Yeah, no, we lived at his grandma's, but yeah, he worked at construction. He did PVC piping, that sewage for all the places
Okay.
out there. And so, no, he always worked something. And his best friend was still living with us, too, on the couch. So there's this joke because I don't know if you guys remember the old Mountain Dew commercial where the guy's got the key fob and he changes his best friend into a hot chick in front of the Mountain Dew commercial, and then she drinks the Mountain Dew. So they always said that Justin found the key fob because they traded Nate, the best friend, for me, obviously. It was cool.
Right, for the hot chick.
Yeah, because
That's awesome.
yeah, but he stuck around for a little while, and then he decided to. I think he went to Labor Ready, or not Labor Ready, but where you go and
So
learn a trade.
he was not
Right.
lazy, and he had a better outlook on what he wanted for his life and yours.
At this point, yeah, we were both young. He,
Okay.
he went through it in his childhood. He lived with his grandma. His mom at the time did live across the street, but he never really lived with his parents for very long. I mean, they did, but his grandma and his grandpa raised him.
So, if you had to say your very most favorite memory of Justin, and we're going to go opposite too, okay? Because there's always two sides of the story. If you want to save the best for last, we'll save that. You know what I mean? But if you want to share your worst, give me a best and a worst. This is my wife. I love her to death. She's sitting right next to me. She can hit me if she wants. But I have a best and a worst. You know what I mean? I think everybody does.
Well, I think since up to this point, before I'm 18, that my favorite memory of him will always be his eyeballs looking in that rearview mirror that day I met him, it's
Right.
Yeah. But then my worst, oh shit.
I'm like, we all know this part.
Yeah, I'll step back while the women take over on this part.
I mean, there's not a couple, but I don't know really what to choose from. You know what? I absolutely hate the fact that he could lay his head down and go right to sleep.
Oh,
it
that
drove me
shit's
freaking
horrible.
insane, dude.
It's just
or
men.
fighting or not.
I
And
swear, men
just-
are just like that.
I'm like,
men are just like that.
Only after sex.
No, it's not. It's any time. He's out cold, and it's not easy.
But they
to get him
refuse
up.
to admit it.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't asleep.
Yeah.
Like, motherfucker, yes, you were.
Let's get back to the point that ain't my business. Okay, so that's your best memory and your worst memory. Okay, so you guys are together for how long total?
In total,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
10, 15 years, close
Hold on
to.
a second, let me go kill this.
Cut.
We need one of those things.
Good thing we have editing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. God damn. There's tissues behind you too.
Okay, good. We might need those.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see here. So you guys were together how long?
So in total, about 15 years.
15 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there were some little breaks in between, but
I
in
think
all in
to
all,
make it 15 years, you have to let's just take that back. Let's say if you're going to be together that long, you're going to cross those roads.
yeah, especially.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. When I was a baby, basically, well, not a baby, but I mean, I was young,
You
15.
was absolutely young.
Yeah,
You know what
so
I
I
mean?
didn't experience anything.
Right.
Not that I went off and did, but like it was. So
a lot of your firsts were with him.
everything. I know, and it's so hard now because it's like when you get with somebody new and you know they're first, and it's like when do I get? And you don't get to experience that again, and it sucks not having that person to call and be like, hey, I wish that I could be,
So you guys were together about 15 years on and off. Did you guys have any children together?
Okay, so we did. Actually, we have a son. He's amazing, just like his dad. He's spinning image. He's 15 now, but we didn't have him until I was married with him. There's a lot of in between stories still.
Let's catch us right to where we want to be. So don't let me derail you.
Lincoln James Icard. He looks just like his dad. It's hard to look at him sometimes, but where was I before the kids?
Oh, yeah, exactly. What happened? Tell us something. What was going on? What was you guys doing?
Okay, so we're living out in Springdale. Okay, so Justin, out of everybody in my life, at any point in time, still to this day, spent more time with me. Like, okay, so I my real mom and I got taken away when I was 5. Okay, so then I had my stepmom, and that's one who had the kids, with my dad, who I call mom. She took care of me, and my dad. And so, but really 15 years, nobody spent 15 years of dealing with me, except for Justin. Justin, like, he basically raised me. I know that sounds weird to say.
No,
but
I get it.
He did,
I get it. Yep.
And so it's like, it's crazy. So we went from staying at his grandma's, not worrying to have to do bills and whatever, and then we decided to move into town, and obviously we took on the whole trend of everybody in one time in their life they decide that they want to be the plug.
Yeah.
But and so I worked at Sonic. I think I was 16 when I got a job at Sonic, which was when it just opened over on Division. So I was making bank. This is back when they're tipping. I'm on roller skates every Friday, Saturday night, bringing
which they don't do anymore.
No, they don't.
Which is
tip
sad.
your freaking car hops if they're on skates. Okay.
Yes, if you guys are sitting there at that
don't go
Sonic's
to get food
Burgers,
unless you can't tip.
Yeah, but I mean, they're skating.
Tip your
I don't
waitress.
know about the walking ones, I mean, but still, even if you go to Zips or, it's cool to get $1 and bring it home,
Waitresses are known for not making much.
Or go through the drive-thru if you can.
Yeah, we'd get tips in the drive-thru too. Yeah. But we're on skates. It's December, And I mean, so this is where I met my best friends, Hillary and Jesse. And they've been with us, well, they were, basically, I mean, we were inseparable. Those two got together at the same time, well, a year after us, but... Anyway, so we're all working at Sonic. We're partying. Like, I'm still 16, underage. I have my own house, everything, and we're just having a blast running the Sonic. And Justin's and I are, we're making sure everybody's stoned through the process, right? Okay, so then, I don't know how far I can go into, like...
whatever you'd like.
And what should I say? Like...
I mean, it was years ago, so
there's
a statute of limitations.
Okay, there is, right?
So you guys started selling
pot, right?
Okay.
And then someone introduced us to, he's like, hey, you think you can push this? And here's a little snow. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so, of course, people were doing that. And this time we were not doing it, right? We're just selling it, okay? Right. Not really making anything. I mean, my rent was $325. So, like, I made that
you're making it sound like you guys were back in the 70s. $325 rent. Oh,
yeah. No, it was just a little tiny house. But, so we started doing that. Now, of course, my curiosity, I have to chase the white rabbit. And one night when he's sleeping, because he just passes out and I'm bored, I decide to get into the safe and take a butter knife of the freaking cocaine. And then all hell breaks loose then. That's a whole nother episode. Like, because then if I feel guilty and I have to convince him to do it because I don't want to be high alone. And then... that was an era where so I didn't know you do cocaine the way you do cocaine. Like, you're supposed to do little straps and party and get, like, less drunk and stuff. Like, oh, no, dude, we're doing, people are throwing up I'm sitting there with a bucket in front of me because I can't, like, breathe. I'm flicking my cigarettes. It was bad. Yeah. And so then we started making a lot of money. Then we moved out of our little house into this big, huge
whispered...
house.
After she said all that illicit shit, that they were making a lot of money. She whispered that part. No, speak clearly into the mic when you say cocaine, but whisper We made a lot of money.
Well, we did. We did. But, I mean, we moved into this huge house that we got it from a sheriff from California.
The drugs?
No, the house. But we were dealing drugs
I'm
to the
like,
sheriff.
it is getting thicker than a
Well, not the
Snicker.
cocaine. He didn't know about that, but we dealt pot to him because we had really good pot back then.
Right.
You know, everybody says, "Oh, our weed sticks to the wall when you throw it." I'm like, "Shit, my weed sticks to my hand when I try to throw it, dude." Okay, so I mean, and then we're in this big house. We're partying all the time. We're just freaking the plug. That's us. Okay, so, but then shit starts going downhill, as it always does in this whole scenario of drugs.
Right.
It's not
It
a matter
never
if.
ends.
Right.
The carriage turns into a
always
pumpkin
ends
at midnight, no
bad.
matter what.
Always.
You know what I
Every
mean?
time.
Every time.
Yeah, no matter what, you're still broke.
Yeah.
You're still broke.
Yeah.
Now you're addicted to
And
drugs.
matter of fact,
And you want to get high.
your mental
but you can't
status
'cause
is
you're broke.
drained. Now your depression is on heightened.
And everything.
Yeah.
Just everything on max.
Yeah, it was bad. The one thing I can say, though, through all of that is that Justin taught me how to wake up in the morning with nothing and work your way up from to selling a bag, a dub sack, getting a bowl. And so by the end of the day, you have an eighth of your own and $40 in your pocket.
So he was hustler.
Yeah, but he did it with respect. Like,
Right.
when I'm like, what? When I tried to do it, I was like, I'm bringing respect
People
back
might
in the
not
game,
understand the statement that she just said, but I grew up in the streets. I'm from an inner city neighborhood in California, and oddly enough, it's kind of like the honor amongst thieves. There is a way to do things, and I get it that it's illegal and it's not a victimless crime. Right. You know, it ruins families and neighborhoods and stuff like that. But you know, in that type of lifestyle, there are respectful ways that will actually keep you safer, not safe, but safer, and just keep your name decent enough to where you can be seen around. Because people that are living that lifestyle, typically they're not really intimidated by laws or rules, so you don't want to cross them. Really, you know, who knows who the plug is, right?
Right.
You're selling for somebody else.
That, yeah.
Right.
And it's just like, I mean, it was like, you never sell to a kid.
Right.
Never anybody that
That's
is
what I
your
meant.
friend.
There's some rules
like,
for the
their
classy.
kids. Oh, no. Like, but even to the fact, like, we never robbed anybody. Right. We didn't support that stuff. And I think in the long run, it made it to where, because we had those good morals doing it, we made it out without doing any time. You know, like, he made it out. He decided we did get raided. It was a big thing, but we just
was lucky enough to not have any that day.
well, actually, the control buy just went down. So that's,
Oh, shit.
but like, I just get home from work and the cops come through the door and we're just worried about our animals, you know. And Justin made him take the handcuffs off me and Nate and.
How old are you guys in this story, and does the drug dealing and that lifestyle persist, or do you guys find a spot where you guys say, you know what, this isn't us and let's do something different?
Yeah, so we started, so about this time, I'm stopped working at Sonic because I had a cocaine habit. But I'm about 18 when we did break up for a minute, and Justin changed. He decided to go to college. So he gets enrolled in college. And
For real, that is amazing. So he stopped selling drugs, stopped being in the streets.
He started going to college. Okay. But then,
so he had to come up with the money for college somehow?
well,
Is that
yes.
what we're talking
Well,
about?
he realized when he got that first financial aid check how much stuff he could. But it wasn't cocaine. It was just pot at this time because we were stoners. We still wanted to.
So he can't quite break the cycle of being in the streets.
Right. It's hard. It is hard.
One
and
foot
Justin,
in, 1 foot out.
I mean, we were living at his dad's house, and his dad's. You know, he learned from experience from his parents,
Right.
you know, and
Product
it's hard
of your
to break that.
environment.
You know, it's really
Absolutely.
hard, especially when they're already knocking on the door where you live at, you know.
Right.
And so, but we weren't doing any illicit, now they're illicit drugs.
Right.
We were just, back then they were still illegal. And pot was, you could make money selling off pot,
Right.
you know, and it was good pot, you know. But anyway, so, so I'm 18. We get back together. He's going to school. I'm like, okay, shit, I'll do my best to get my life together. And so I get a job. Justin wouldn't let me drive until I went and so we bought a car. It was a Dodge Intrepid. It wouldn't go out of third gear, so it only goes 35 miles an hour, which Justin said was enough for me. And so
is he doing his classes at this time? And
I'm working at Zips.
Okay.
Yeah, he's doing good. Of course, Justin's always been smart too, and so he's always he's focused, you know, on that.
You're 18 at this point. How old is he?
I think he just turned 21, 22 maybe.
Okay, so he's just a few years older than you.
Yeah, I never really saw an age gap between us like that. It was
There's
just
17 years between me and Sadie.
Yeah.
And either I'm so immature or she's so mature.
Yeah,
we don't
just
feel
sink.
it whatsoever.
Yeah.
You just you don't go, I love you, you 26-year-old.
Yeah, the worst thing is,
it just is what it is, man.
I've always associated with older people, but Justin and I just there's a connection between Justin and I that was created from the beginning. Like, okay, so like back when we were doing drugs, Justin, I never had a jealousy thing. Like I don't understand that still to this day. Like I didn't realize it until I was divorced and got out of that, wow, people are crazy, you know, in relationships. Like drugs, he never did drugs until he came home to me. I never even worried about it. I never worried about him sleeping with someone or like money. We never had money.
A secure friendship and relationship.
That's what it probably was. It wasn't just friendship. I mean, we were probably what you would consider soulmates.
So let's hop out of this part and move into the happier times. So fast forward right out of the drug era.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, after we got raided and he's going to school. Okay, so we decided to move out.
Tell me about the better times. Tell me the good times when you guys were both on your feet and doing good.
Okay, so we move out of his dad's house because we figured that's probably an issue, you know. And so
crazy time to cue the siren.
So we move out, and so this time I'm working at Zips. I just got my GED, just got my license, so now I can drive a car, so we can live wherever we want, really, and I can drive him. He doesn't have a license at this time. Bad tickets or whatever. And so he's making sure, Justin always made sure I did everything by the book because he had already been in an age where he's messed everything up and it's so hard to get your credit back and everything like that. Right. So he made sure that my shit was good to go, you know, you're not fucking up. He's smart like that. And so I'm working at Zips, managing that. And then I get another job at Hugo's on the Hill. Oh, it's Big Daddy's at this time. It's a bowling alley casino up on 29th.
Right.
And he's going to school still. So full-time school. He's going to school. Like, and I'm working 2 jobs. And then we finally get our own place. And so things are good. And
this is a good time. This is a celebratory moment.
Yeah.
You guys met and didn't have anything. You guys went through the struggle.
Several times.
And you guys moved up the ladder a little bit, put in a little determination, hard work.
Yeah.
You guys are on your feet on your own at this point.
Paying bills.
Is baby around yet?
Well, February of this year, of that year, is actually Valentine's Day. Yeah.
So you found out you're pregnant or you gave birth on Valentine's Day?
No, I was pregnant right around there. I found out like a couple weeks later. I was sick as hell.
Oh, so he got you roses and then put a baby up there? Is that what you're talking about?
We actually broke up for a mid-second when we both, because we never really experienced our own house before, and so we were kind of, at this point, we're like, I want this house by myself, and he's like, I want this house by myself, because we were just, you know, we missed each other. We didn't get back. So you guys were both
trying to kick each other out
Constantly?
Like, you get out, no, you get out.
You know? And so I'm seeing this one guy, he takes me to Brad Paisley concert on Valentine's Day. So I got roses and stuff from him, but then I told the guy to drop me off at Justin's, at the house, because that's where I wanted to be. So obviously it was like, okay, and then baby Lincoln was conceived, but still it was kind of rough, like while I was pregnant. But Justin started working at the Golden Corral, so he's going to school, now he's working, now I'm working. I only work the one job because I'm pregnant, but I'm like, this is gonna start something. So anytime somebody has their first like real job where they're working with the boys and the girls, what happens? Now they're around girls all the time. Now they're gonna start connecting. You know, there's gonna be some kind of connection. I already seen it coming, but the universe and I are connected very well. And so I'm busy. It's one of the busiest nights at work, and I finally get to smoke a cigarette, and I go outside and I sit down and smoke a cigarette, and my phone rings, and I answer it, and I can hear people in the background, and it's Justin talking to this chick, and this chick is talking to my cat, so I know that they're at my house, you know. Right. So I'm like, oh fuck, sorry. Call him back. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I just got home. I'm doing some homework or something like that. I'm like, oh yeah, nobody's there. Nobody's there. Oh no, okay. He's like thinking about, I'm gonna take a nap, blah blah. Oh, okay. So I like busy night. I'm like, I have to go, and so I get in my car and I'm racing up there and freaking pregnant, mind you, smoking like 18 cigarettes before I get there. And here they are walking down the street hand in hand, and I just my freaking Dodge Intrepid right up, and he throws her aside. I'm like, you're protecting her now. It's this big old freaking, and I didn't touch her though. I was pretty proud of myself. I'm like, you better leave because I'm not having this baby in prison. I'm just not, you know, like. So get in your fucking car and get away from, you know, and there's pictures of me on the wall, so don't be fucking that bitch, right?
So we'll have to catch up on that.
Yeah, that's one.
So check this out. You guys have made a family at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You guys,
started, yep.
You guys. I'll just keep us on one track. That's all.
Smart.
So you guys have a baby. You guys have bettered yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remain in Washington the entire time, or do you move out of state?
We do. We remain in Washington, but Justin's, so he's in his end of school. We've had Lincoln, okay? And Justin got recruited 6 months before he even graduated. So
Recruited to?
REC Silicone, which is in Moses Lake. So he had already had a job, and as soon as he graduates, that's where we relocate.
Okay.
So now we have this 6-month-year-old baby, right? There's me, and he's working at REC Silicone. He just graduated top of his class. Everybody loves us now because we're no longer the
low lives.
Right,
You guys
now
are moving
we're,
on up.
and
Yep.
we love it, and it was great. And Justin loved it. And then, so we moved to Moses Lake. Have you guys been to Moses Lake before?
No, but
good.
by the look, I would assume that
Yeah.
the troubles picked back up.
Well, when you have a 6-month-old baby and your husband, we're married, by the way. We got married a month before my son was born because I
Okay.
didn't want to have a bastard child. And so, but there was other reasons. He proposed to me at my baby shower. The whole family was there. It was freaking cute. But, okay, so we have the white picket fence, the beautiful house. I mean, I was making homemade Christmas presents for everybody. That's how, money. We had tons of money.
You see that? People still whittle
It wasn't whittling.
and
it was
sew
baking.
and knit. No, I'm just kidding.
Baking. Actually, I didn't even bake. I just made the cute jars with all the ingredients in it. But anyways, my grandma still has hers, but I probably won't make good cookies. But we were far away from everybody. Moses Lake's a couple hours.
So it sounds like to me that you met the man of your dreams, because even though you guys had your breaks, you seemed to find your way back to him. Right?
Yeah, every time.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Let's fast forward the story a little bit to the point of you guys being in Montana. What brought you to Montana?
Okay, so in the time of I had a bad surgery and to Montana.
And fill us in on how old everybody is at this point, because I probably fast forwarded a little
Yeah,
bit.
you fast forward a little bit, but okay, so when I'm in Moses Lake, this is important. I had already had an addiction to opiates, but I went to the doctor down there and said I'm addicted to opiates, and they gave me a prescription to opiates.
Right.
Right.
What?
Right.
And so not just a little bit, either a lot. And so
Yeah.
then it just went from,
Made it worse.
and now
Yep.
I'm not in a place where I can just get opiates either, because I'm in Moses Lake. That's why I went to the doctor. So fast forward to right before we hit Montana is now I'm really addicted to opiates, where I'm on the methadone clinic. I weigh 210 pounds. We have really good insurance, so not only am I getting 210 milligrams from the methadone clinic every day, I have a doctor that prescribes me 3 Xanax bars, Adderall, more methadone, and antipsychotic pills, because apparently I'm psychotic. But so I'm on all these pills, and I'm miserable because we can't go camping. You know, on the methadone, I smoked a lot of pot, $300 a week, easy pot.
Right.
You know, that's when it was starting to get legal, and I went and got my card, and so, you know, I'm messed up. I can't go a weekend, like you have to dose every day. You're
Right.
set, and we can't do anything. And Justin, changed jobs. He's now in Seattle. He worked for Trident, so now so he's gone 3 weeks out of the year, or out of the month, and home for a week. And he's in Alaska, or because he works for
Trident Seafood.
Yeah, and he
I actually
programs all the
almost worked
machines
there as well.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah, he programs all the machines on all the boats. Smart, making mad money, you know, and just sending it home. And so I'm paying the bills, and he's not here. And I'm really addicted to drugs, and I have my 3-year-old son, and he's my road dog, and we just hang out all the time. But I am sleeping. When Justin does come back, I'll sleep 18 hours. You know, they're going off to like Wild Waters or Silverwood, and I'm just at home sleeping because I'm miserable. I'm on all these prescription drugs that I really, honest to God, don't need to be on.
Right.
And so I asked him if we can do that. Back then they had a dead man's coma, or a dead man's. Anyways, they put you to sleep in a coma for a week or 2 to get you off the hard things. Because mind you, the opiates that people are on these days aren't the same as the opiates on methadone. You know, when you've been on them for 3 years, it took me almost 6 months to stop
Right.
my withdrawals.
Right.
Like, and these people are like, I'm so sick. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be mean, but I mean, I was so sick, I couldn't say I'm so sick, you know? And so I'm like, please, can we do this? Our insurance will cover it, blah, blah, blah. He's like, I just don't know how it will work with my job. And I'm like, okay. And at this time, it had been a year. He came home and cheated on me What? Okay, so I got chlamydia. Okay, so I find out from the doctor he cheats on me. Okay, here's the thing about it. We're married. We're partners. We're human. Humans make mistakes.
Right.
But we've always been able to talk to each other about it. That's the thing is,
Right.
I get it. But if you can't talk to me about it, then where are we? Where's my partnership at?
Right.
You know, like, and for a year, he couldn't talk to me about it. And then when I asked him to help me with that, it was just, he said no. And I lost. Like, I was just, you know, my life, I didn't have anything.
Is this what pushes you guys into Montana?
This what pushes me into stop. I'm the reason we got divorced because I missed.
So you got divorced while you were out here in Washington?
Still in Washington. I don't move to Montana until after we got divorced.
Were you guys together when you moved to Montana?
No, we were not.
So you went to Montana and started your own life?
Well, I started
yourself?
doing my old life again.
But
yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
you went by yourself, took
The
your kid?
whole reason Justin ever wound up in Hungry Horse was because I had my son for a month while he was in Alaska.
Okay, so let's explain you going to Montana and where Hungry Horse is and what your life was like when you got there.
Okay.
Who was you staying with? Not by name maybe, but you know, was it a friend? Was it family? Like what was your landing like in Hungry Horse? What brought you there? Who'd you know?
So I wanted to get off methadone, right?
Okay.
And so I tried methamphetamines for the first time when I was sick. And I didn't realize what that is, you know? Like, and because I had never done it, right? I was able to...
It was an upper. It got
Yeah,
you
and
up.
it got me off. I mean,
Yeah.
I was going through withdrawals, but I got in a semi-truck because I can't
Right.
touch it if I'm on
So
the road.
this takes you to Montana?
Right, because we're
We
in
just
a...
got to stay on
Yeah,
track.
we are.
you know,
We're getting there. But like, yeah, so I get in this semi-truck with this dude, and at this point we're still married. Justin and I had just broken up, basically. And I tried dope, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going through these crazy withdrawals in this semi-truck. Well, he's going back and forth. We've been to Montana. I'd never been out of Washington, maybe to Idaho, you know. And I seen Montana, and I'm like, oh my God, this is freaking God's freaking country.
Gorgeous.
Oh
It is
my
absolutely
God.
beautiful.
And so then I come to after about a month, and we're still in the semi-truck, and I realize we're going from Oregon to Montana. Oregon has what? You know,
Right.
and then Montana.
So this guy's running?
I'm running. This guy's
Oh,
driving.
okay. So you're running
Yeah.
drugs at that point?
Right, in the semi-truck, allegedly.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, and so me and him obviously. Well, there was a part. We got in a semi-truck accident, and there was some things found in the accident, and I left the scene because he told me to, and then I decided to come back because I said all the drugs are mine. I did 3 years in Montana. He did 6 months probation.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's shit, right?
Right. Okay. So that's what it gets when you're a solid person is you get 3 years. So careful.
Yeah.
Silence is the key. You can be solid and not have to say the drugs are yours.
Right.
Yeah. Just keep
Okay,
your mouth
so
shut.
life is persistent in Montana. You're living out there, and the same things are carrying on.
Right. So Justin has moved in his cousins, and they're taking care of Lincoln. I really I ghosted.
So you're in Montana without your son?
Yeah, I ghosted everybody.
Okay.
And so then we get a divorce. He gets me over there to give me a divorce. And he buys my car from me. Like, Justin always still supported me. Like, I could call him anytime I wanted. And he gave me the car or gave me money or anything. Like,
Right.
I was still his, you know, I was still me to him. He would always take care of me. Like, I mean, he flew me to Arizona to be with the guy that I got the charge with because I thought that's where I wanted to be in Christmas, and then flew me back with his points. You know, like, he always just was there for me. So I'm like, I want to have our kid. This is after I was done being dumb, and just now I'm settled in Hungry Horse. And Hungry Horse is beautiful, by the way.
It
We
is.
have to say that it's beautiful.
Hungry Horse,
It is.
Montana, for the people that don't know, is just a very small town right in the Flathead. Isn't it in the Flathead?
Yeah,
Or
well, it's
right
on the
outside
way to Glacier. Yeah.
It's gorgeous. It's a one way in, one way out type of small mountain town. There's a bar.
There was, yeah. It's
Well, I
gone
guess
now.
the downtown's closed down.
Sad.
That gave me chills. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's sad. I've had plenty of good times in there.
I know. Well, me and Bobby got in that fight down there. I think that's the first time I ever hung out with you. Yeah. Yeah. Downtown was cool. I've gotten a lot of fights. Actually, I got in the other fight because of you, too. God, that was messed up.
A couple times.
Yeah, wait. Anyways. But no, it's beautiful. And
So let's take it to this point right here. So you're in Montana, you have your child, you have some sort of a living situation.
Sure.
And do you ask Justin to come to Montana?
he is going to come, and he is going to get Lincoln because either that or I have to drive back.
He wants to come pick his son up.
Right, because he's back from Alaska.
Okay.
So he's on his little week break, and so I'm like, okay, cool.
So when he comes to get your son, I don't want to drop any cats out of the bag, but is he not the one that was with Kaylin?
But he hadn't met anybody yet.
Okay,
See, this is the
so
key.
we're
This is a very
before.
important night.
We're before.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So take over.
So he comes to get his kid, and at this point, I've done my fun. I've done my fun in Hungry Horse. I've had my kid for a month. I'm realizing, oh fuck, I need to be a mom, right? So I'm ready to go back home with Justin when he comes and picks up Lincoln. I have not expressed myself to him yet, or anything, or Lincoln, but we're kind of talked to Lincoln about. He's 4 at this point, so 4, maybe 5. Anyway, so Justin comes, and he gets a hotel right at that little motel right across from the downtown. And so I meet him at the downtown, and I'm like, look at these. These are fun little machines that we have here. Can I have some money? And, of course, bam. And Justin, he likes to floss, kind of show off. There's 4 people in the bar. One of them happened to be Kaylin. And she's 18 at the time in the bar. Anyways.
Montana.
Yeah.
No, that's Montana for you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, okay, so our son is up at Irish's house, right? I'm like, I gotta go check on our kid, and obviously I need to get high, but I didn't tell him that part. So I ran up to Irish's real quick, and she didn't waste any time. And I come back to the bar maybe a half an hour later, and Justin's not there. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Somebody told me to go down to Bri-Bri's house because there's that bonfire. And let me tell you something. I have never seen a person be under some kind of trance that Justin was. I mean, she just had.
He put it on her. She put it on him.
Yeah, he was. I'm like, can I get a cigarette, fool? What are you doing right now? He's like dancing, and he's like he was 18 years old again. Like the look on. I don't even remember him ever looking at me like that. So I knew he loved her. But Justin has the Captain Save-A-Ho in him, So I mean, and she had the hey, I see a way out of here, and innocent enough as that could be, that. But I was like, great. And so that was that. And
so
Caitlin's
Jolene stowed your man.
No, KK.
No, Jolene.
I know. Isn't that funny?
Jolene.
Yeah, I love that song. Now, she's calling me a homewrecker every time I try to call my kid and shit, because she's 18 and doesn't understand what a homewrecker is.
Okay, so explain this situation a little bit. So Caitlin is 18, you said, when they met and got together, right?
Yeah.
Her father does not approve of this situation.
Well, he's in prison, and at this point, when they first get together, I'm like, yeah, her dad is going to kill you when he gets out of prison, because he's in there because he shot his nephew or something with the shotgun. So I'm like, are you dumb? Yeah, there is no approval because he's at 30, I think.
Hold on for the viewers. Kaylin, the girl who is now with Justin, your baby daddy and ex-husband at this time, or
Correct.
still husband?
Nope, ex-husband. I used to call him my husband.
Okay, the girl's father is in prison at this time for shooting his nephew with a shotgun.
Correct.
Okay, and while he's in prison for shooting his own nephew with a shotgun, Justin thinks it's any kind of a good idea to get with this girl whose father shoots people with shotguns.
I don't think Justin's...
is he not aware of it, or does he not care?
Now, okay, so when you go back, rewind to us, like the iCards in Spokane, it could be same kind of as, minus the big, huge town versus the little town. That whole, like, you'd say iCards to the cops, and you now have 7 cars behind you. Right. Versus, you know what I'm saying? So he wasn't scared.
It's that family.
Like he thought that, he didn't realize the of it. Nobody really did.
Let's fast forward a little bit. So Justin gets with her. They have a baby. They have a baby together.
He gets a house. Well, when they got together, I'm like, okay, that's cool. Don't get him high on that. Just because I knew cocaine ruined his life, Right. So just don't. He'll take care of you. He's an amazing guy. He's an amazing father, and he's going to take care of you for the rest of your life no matter what. Do not let him do that drug. I know that you just don't fucking do it. Right. And at this time, I still see her, they're running now. So the whole reason I moved to Montana too was so that I gave up all my friends. I gave up the life that we lived because I didn't want to intertwine that anymore. Right. When you're divorced, it hurts, to have, especially when you see your friends kind of side with the other person or however that I'm like, I'm done. So now here I am again in Hungry Horse, a smaller town, and everybody knows Justin. Now when you say an iCard in freaking Hungry Horse, they don't think about Brittany. Right. They think about Justin, I'm like, what the fuck? Anyways, but so now he's around, and hanging out with my friends and going crawdad fishing with my friends, and I get kicked out of the whole crawdad fishing. So my feelings are hurt again. And so, yeah, it just, and then, I go to prison. That's what happens.
So you're in prison, you get out?
Well,
how long did you do?
Well, okay, so I got lucky. So I go in, and I'm supposed to do 3 years because I was being bad on probation or whatever, and I get 5 months into it because I found out I was pregnant. Now, grant you, I was pregnant, and if it wasn't for me going to jail, because I was using hard drugs in a bad way, and I didn't know I was pregnant or else.
Right.
But if it wasn't for me being in prison, I don't know if I would hope to say that I could have quit for my child, but we know for sure I didn't do any there. So when I got out, it was really easy to stay sober, because I'm pregnant. So they let me out because I was having a bad, hard things. I was bleeding and stuff. So, it was my first charge, and I didn't ever make it to prison. I was still 5 months in at just the jail that they were holding me in, waiting to get in the system or whatever.
So you get out of prison, and you are watching Justin still remain with Kaylin?
Yeah, yes, sort of. Spring break comes for Lincoln, and so I call and talk to him because I'm sober and have my own house in Cut Bank with Brooklyn's dad, and I asked if I could see my kid again. Can I have some of my kid for spring break? So, Justin says and he's talking about how Kaylin ran off and blah, blah, blah.
So they're not together at this point?
Well, they're together. They've had a baby, and he's chasing her just like he chased me years prior, and she's trying to do the... At this point, I could tell on the phone he had tried dope, because I could tell things are going to shit.
So you and that family in Montana are now tied together through Justin.
Correct.
He's got a child with you. He's got a child with Kaylin.
Was tied to him before because they're all my friends,
So let's get to this point. So Kaylin's father gets out of prison at one point.
Right. Yeah. I think they were pretty close when he got out when I was in jail.
And how does the introduction with Justin go? Do you know anything about that?
I don't really know exactly. I think that they had the baby by the time he got out. I don't know. I know that later on it wasn't as good. I know the last encounter that they had together was, somewhat okay. But that's from Ryan's point of view. So,
okay.
But I don't know if you want me to get into exactly what happened. Or?
So I think we will explain first off where's Justin today? What happened to Justin? And then we'll get into, what do you think? You know what I mean? What happened with the investigation and et cetera.
So Justin, he sits on a shelf right now until we spread his ashes, and I have a necklace, and that's where he is. And he was murdered, and it took us 4 years to find the body. And there's a lot of stuff that I just don't, it's a cold case, I guess. But, it's...
Okay, so I know this is really, really rough, and it's even hard to listen to. So when did you get the news? How did you get the news, and what was the news that you got? So
Justin was out on bail. And so when I got the news or whatever, it was the bail bondsmen were looking for him, and they needed to go over to Hungry Horse. And so they talked to me because they're from here. They used me as to where could he be. And they're
so he was on bail, and they thought he'd jump bail?
Yeah, they did. But I already knew. I knew then because his grandma put up her truck, and Justin would never do that. And it was Lincoln's birthday had passed, and he didn't call. Right. And so I already knew that something happened because... They couldn't find him. I said, so what do you think he's dead? And he said, well, I've been doing this for 30, 40 years, and I've never had someone just straight disappear. Right. So, yeah, I would say that he's gone.
So the first inkling that you heard that he was not anywhere to be found was from the bail bonds.
And then Kaylin and Ryan both messaged me and said that, I'm glad that he's with you or something like that. And I'm like, the fuck he is, but what,
So almost, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but we know that he's been murdered. You let the cat out the bag. So you have to start analyzing anything that was said or done around you at the time, right?
Right.
So looking back, do you think that people were getting a hold of you and maybe loading the backstory?
Yeah, of course. I don't. So here's the thing, is no matter what, I know Justin would want me to have a relationship with Kaylin, okay? Whether... I don't believe that she pulled the trigger per se. Yes, I believe that she's involved, okay? But she does have his son, and I have his son, and she's gonna get out of prison soon, and she's probably gonna get her son back. And Justin doesn't care.
So you said in prison, is that has anything to do with the case?
Well, I don't know. No, it doesn't.
Okay.
So sealed paperwork. I don't know.
Okay.
So I don't know why.
But she's not in there for.
She's in there
case.
on an indictment for running drugs, but it has nothing to do. Justin's name is not in any of the paperwork that is unsealed.
Okay, so it's this big mystery of where he's at for a while, right? Have you seen him? I heard he was with you. Good thing he's with you. At what point does this turn into an actual, hey, you guys, this is not good. We know it's not good. When does it turn into something
a year later?
Serious?
A year later, we get a video.
Hold on a minute. He is missing for 12 months, and then it gets serious?
No, okay, so I already know. And at this point, I'm not telling my kid.
So how
We're just
are you dealing with it? Right, yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know how. I just kind of questioned it was... Those 4 years were probably the most hardest.
4 years from when he was found, but the 1 year until you found out that he was actually.
Yeah, the video is just like, okay, because in my mind, I already knew exactly what happened.
So the video is a statement. What is the video? Can you explain it to the viewers what the video is that you're speaking of?
So it's December. It is the day he went missing, supposedly, and it's being filmed by somebody far away, and you zoom in and you see this man in a Carhartt coat, fully clothed, running across the Flathead River. Mind you, the Flathead River is not a small river. It is.
And what month did you say this
December
was?
2nd.
So
December
this
2nd.
is ice on the river. This is snow on the river. This is not a time to be in the river.
No, seconds you will get. I mean, I went swimming in July in that river, and I'm crying because of how cold it is,
It's ice floating down the river.
It's cold no matter what.
Hypothermia within seconds.
24/7.
So there's a video that surfaces of a man in a Carhartt jacket running across this ice-filled river in December.
In December, yeah, and we get to see 8 seconds of it. And apparently, I find out.
Do we know who took the footage?
No, apparently. So after all the time, when I finally talked to Luke Foster, he's the sheriff on the case. Anyways, he tells me that there's 15 minutes of this. And he says the person who took this video is a law-abiding citizen, and he's known him for years. So my first question is, no matter what, that person's going to die. Like, he's going into nothing. Like, it's across a river. Corum's this way, or wherever they say it is. There's nothing over there. So even when he does get out, there's nobody with a blanket. Right. There's nothing. He's fully clothed. Right. So, and I've met people from, Hungry Horse and whatever. They said they've been in there for seconds, got out, and they're lucky that they didn't.
You can't move. Your muscles seize up. Your chest collapses.
Right.
There's no way to breathe. Right. Your hands don't work. Your feet don't work. Your legs don't work.
So the Luke Foster tells me he swam twice and got across, sat down on the embankment, and then walked off scene. And I said, oh, who's the person taking it? Oh, he's a law-abiding citizen. I know him from. Why can't I see the 15 minutes of the video, and why can't I know who that person is? Right. That person watched someone die, whether he did die on the other side, died in the river. I don't know. No matter what, he saw that. So in your opinion,
do you have an opinion anyway? Why was it? You obviously think that the video of the man running across the river in December is Justin.
This is why, okay, right? Because there was a thing with Kaylin wreck, and the car was found right there at the trestle. Okay, but here is the kicker. I found out Bobby actually calls me, and I think it was a year later after the video. So it took him a year to connect the two videos, connect a missing person report and this weird. Took him a year. Good job. To connect the two videos, and so once they connected it, they decided to take dogs out. What's it called when they're dead? Cadaver dogs, okay?
Right.
Cadaver dogs. Uh-huh. This is key. Okay, so they said this is what Luke Foster told me on the phone after they found his body. They said they took the cadaver dogs over to where, supposedly, that would have been where he reached the edge, right? And they picked up Justin's scent, but it's been a year and there's snow on the ground, so it didn't follow very far. Justin told me when I was a kid that if you're ever being chased by dogs, you go in the water. Why? It loses the dogs can't chase the scent once you hit the water. So how in the hell a year later are you going to be able to pick up one person's fucking scent?
Right, yeah.
But a dead body being pulled out of that side of that river, right, would have been able, that's the only scent that you would have been able to pick up.
So this is a video, and have you heard any stories surface surrounding what anybody in that area was trying to sell as the story, or anything that they've brought up as what they might have known? Because I know that them small towns got a lot of talking.
Right, and that's the thing.
I was actually out there, and I heard a story that, the story that I had heard, that a bunch of girls killed him.
Yeah,
Because
like, yeah.
because
I
they
heard
didn't
that too.
like men putting hands on
Right,
women.
right. I did. Now let me
You
just
know?
say, 15 years I was with him. Justin never put his hands on me, and I'm a bitch. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so I told her, I mean, the right combination of chemicals and being a bitch.
Right.
Not saying it's justified at all, but I am just saying
I was
that
in
he
Hungry
wasn't a
Horse,
BB.
Montana, and the first person to come see me was Kaylin's father.
Oh yeah,
And he made no short sentence of an alibi. You know what I mean?
That's the first thing he said to me when I finally got to meet him.
I didn't say hi before he was letting me know.
Was he telling
that
you how he was on an ankle monitor?
He told me basically that, you'll never believe what happened, and then just went into his version of the story.
There's a lot of versions.
That they took the wood chipper.
Yeah.
They
But
took a vehicle that was moved.
His not going to prove you're innocent when it comes down to it, even if he didn't pull the trigger. And I don't think he did. I don't think he was there.
So you said that his remains were found 4 years after the incident.
A month after Kaylin was indicted in the river. That's the key right there. So what are the coincidences of that?
Right. So an indictment comes down, and what would help more
Yeah.
than to have any kind of proof or evidence on some sort of bigger case? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and then that would maybe connect Kaylin's father to her case, because why else would they have anything to do with him
Right.
on her case, right?
Right.
Why else? Hell, I got 3 years. I didn't even get caught with something. She gets 10 years for running guns, cocaine, and heroin. Has 6 controlled buys. I read all the paperwork. And she gets 10 years.
That's
So
crazy.
let me ask you a question. Who found the remains?
I talked to him. I don't know who he is. He's just somehow was in the circle some way or other. But
So he's known by other people?
actually Travis Davis.
Or is he
What do you mean with him?
Travis Davis is the one that found the
No,
remains?
he's the one who when I went over there, he said I know that guy and called him right on the phone, and then I talked to him.
I'm not following.
Okay,
Is
so-
Travis Davis the person that found the remains?
No, Travis Davis is a friend of mine who came.
Who knew the person who found the
Correct,
remains?
and he's in Montana. And when I went there to figure out
So
anything.
what was the story behind finding the remains? How did that happen, and do you know who it was?
Yes, well, I can't remember the guy's name. Talked to him on the phone. What he said was he was rafting, or what he was looking for was rocks or gems in the thing, and Justin's molar caught his eye. Right, I have the picture. I said, okay, so what? Did you take any pictures? He said I took one Snapchat picture so that I could remember where it was. What are you going to do when you see a dead body? Are you going to take one picture, 2 pictures?
No.
I'm going to take a few, I think, eventually, because this is the one and only time I'm going to find a skull in the water.
Right.
And then he said to me,
So
if
it was completely like white bone skull.
yeah, I have by the picture he sent me, I could tell it's Justin. Isn't that weird? Because
No,
that's how
you know him. You know
yeah,
what I mean.
but like his molar and stuff. Because when they called, so right before this, they're calling us trying to get Lincoln's DNA. Because they found a body, blah, 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 and they finally found by dental records that was him. But, yeah, so we find, he says to me on the phone, he says, if I don't think that if I had ever came across it, that this body would never be found. Okay.
So, is there any indications on the corpse of a murder? Is there gunshot wounds, broken bones, stab marks? What the coroner report say?
Okay, so the coroner, it's inconclusive. Okay, so here's,
Did they get the entire skeletal remains back?
yes, after 4 years. Isn't that freaking weird?
That's weird.
So
Right,
it
and it was
sounds
in-
like
And it stayed in the water in
Yeah,
the
because
same
it was entangled
spot
in tree trunks.
right.
Oh,
So, no.
and
I
it
mean,
was
I understand
gone.
that fully.
Like, it was,
So,
okay.
so let me explain something to you, because we're going to get into the conspiracy part of what you think happened, okay?
Right.
But I want to cover this part. Just using common sense and up-to-date facts, if you're going to find an intact corpse 4 years later,
In the water.
it is highly likely that corpse was deposited there whole.
Recently.
No.
Well.
No. Not in my opinion.
You don't think a bear's going to come and eat half of it?
Well,
Or
it just
a
matters.
cougar?
It matters on the depth of the water. you know.
Not very.
That
it's
and
this thick.
in
That's how
Montana,
come.
So they found
And it was
bones.
extremely low that year.
right? That's what I'm saying.
So-
in
so
Montana,
the water level could-
rises and
But
lowers.
they weren't. It wasn't in the river. It was in one of those little
The side
swampy
eddies.
things.
The
Right.
side eddy.
But
yeah.
still, it goes from this much water to this much
Right,
water.
right.
Still, if it was underwater, your body pickles. Your body doesn't.
Right.
So you
don't
think
turn to
somebody
bone,
put him
right?
there wanted him found?
I think that it took. Yeah, no, I definitely think that. Someone maybe a month prior probably started
Right.
putting him there. So, back up. back up to when at 6 months and I have both my kids, and Justin's just found, because I moved back to Spokane. Okay, I get a phone call from a friend of ours in Hungry Horse, and I get this story from the beginning to the end. Okay, I don't know if you wanted me to get into it now or say who it is, but I didn't realize that. I wrote it all down. I wish I still had the notebook. I mean, this is the conspiracy theory.
I will say this much: we are gonna have to get a part 2.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I should save that for part 2, because that is the conspiracy.
Okay, let's save that for part 2. So let's just for this part, let's just cover the fact that he's deceased and he's been found and you know what I mean. So we'll edit all that out. So here we go. So they found the remains in a side eddy of the Flathead River.
Correct.
And when that report is made, this is the first confirmation. We know he's been gone for 4 years.
Yep.
We know that he would have reached out to his son, his mother, his grandmother, you. There's no way he's alive at this point. And if he is, he's definitely not able to communicate with anybody freely, because he hasn't.
Right.
So this 4-year mark of finding the corpse in the body in the river, this is confirmation that everybody has been believing, but now they get the actual confirmation. I watched his mother for years on Facebook cry and mourn her son, and my heart poured out every time I seen those posts. And I told her every single time I seen a post, you know, I hope they find your son's body. And you know, what a gift, you know, from God that you guys do have his remains back.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it was, I mean, God, that was 4 years. I mean, riding in a car every day to work, whether it was a 5-minute car ride. And I know JJ, his cousin, was the same way. Like, I couldn't not cry because he's like lost, you know, and
so you have to tell your son.
Oh yeah, because I hadn't at this point. So prior to this,
look into the camera and explain this to the viewers.
Okay,
how you explained it, what it was like.
So I didn't tell him at first, because you can't tell your kid that your dad's dead and then him show up, you know. And he's young; he's 8 when he goes missing. And so around 10, he's suicidal. I'm taking my 10-year-old to the Sacred Heart to figure out what's wrong, because he's, you know,
he misses his father.
He doesn't know. He didn't know what happened, and that's my fault, because I didn't explain to him. You know, he thought he committed something, so I sat him down and I talked to him and I told him exactly what I knew. And I said, from this point on, I'll just be honest with you. You know, this is what we know. You know, for one, your dad loved you and he would be here, and that's the thing, is he would be here, and he was a good dad. And so I tell him when we go for a walk to the store, I just told him to come with me. We're going to go get some ice cream so we just walked down to the convenience store. And I told him that they found his dad's remains, you know, and I'm bawling. And he just looks at me and says, okay. And I said, it's okay to cry, you know, it's okay. And he didn't. But a year prior to that, we did a service thing for him, like on his birthday, his whole family, and we put balloons up in the air, and that was hard, but that helped him release that whole thing. Right. But it's like, the thing is in that 4 years when Justin was in limbo or wherever, he was there all the time with us. I'm hurt because I know that Justin wouldn't let my body just be in limbo, you know, like he would have made sure that they found whoever did this, or that I got home, you know. So right. It's great that we finally got to do a service.
I think your story is impactful. I think it's important that you share it. The investigation is open or closed, or is it an open cold case?
Yeah, I don't know if it's cold or if it's open. All I know is that it's open.
They haven't found cause of death, and they haven't charged anybody.
As far as no, I don't know exactly what they know. I know that there's
they might be hiding shit.
I always thought that here they are in jail. Maybe we would find out some more or something, but it's just. I don't know.
So you never know what's going on.
I definitely need to tell you about that phone call.
I really appreciate you sharing your impactful story with us, the viewers and everybody. It was hard to listen to. I'm a crybaby, I'll admit. You know what I mean? I was choking back the tears for sure. For your son and for Justin and his family.
And Kaysen, we can't forget. You know, they see each other all the time.
Siblings.
They do.
And they both resemble Justin, I would assume.
Freaking A, dude.
I met Justin one time that I could remember.
Yeah.
One time.
Yeah.
And you were, I believe, walking out of the front yard, getting into the truck.
Okay.
And he just gave me that look and I know what that look is.
Yeah.
He wanted to know who I was and why I
Yeah.
was around his
Right,
girl.
right,
You know
right.
what I'm
That's
saying?
just-
Yeah.
See, and that's the thing is like the Justin that I know or that look, you know, the people in Hungry Horse or even the authorities, they don't understand. Justin was on dope for 2, 3, maybe 6 months out of his whole life, so they think that that's who he was.
Right.
But he was an outstanding citizen. He graduated top of his class. He was a great father, a great husband. He took care of his grandma, you know. But they don't see that. And so that's why I think they don't care as much to find a conclusion to everything or help. Like
They just see
us.
another
Is there?
Yeah, they just see
Montana
another
fucking tweaker.
mhm,
I
yeah,
know.
another canyon
I'm
critter
from
turned
Montana,
fucking
I
rough,
know.
you know. Yeah, like
This
just
is
trouble.
part 2, so it's not quite the end for sure for us interviewing you and working Justin's story. Hopefully something comes of it. Maybe they'll reopen it. Maybe they'll take a look into some of the players. But I know your son and Kaylin's son deserve some answers for what happened to their father.
And Justin deserves,
I mean?
you know,
Yeah.
he's an extraordinary person.
Absolutely.
You know,
we can't let
deserves
our party
just
time
have
define who
justice
we
for
are.
sure.
You know what I'm saying?
and,
Everybody
or
has
any
a story.
small,
Right,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Because he would have came out of it,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
And he just didn't get a chance to, you know.
Well, would you like to say anything in closing?
No, thank you for coming on the show,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm sorry for your loss, and
Thanks.
just
Yeah.
appreciate you for sharing.
All
Thanks
right.
for. I'm glad I finally. It feels like I'm doing something towards
It's therapeutic.
something.
I'm gonna
you
keep
know?
it real with you. You know what I mean?
Get
I
your
mean,
story out there. Get
Yeah.
your story
you
out
have already started to help people. You just don't know it yet. There's going to be viewers that watch this story, and maybe they have a cold case, or maybe they have a loved one, or maybe they just have compassion in their heart, and they see that this story is impactful. You know what I mean?
That'd be.
Anything else? No? We're good? Okay. Well, if you like what you've seen and you would like to help by sharing, liking, or commenting, join our Facebook page, INKERVIEWS, on the one, the only tattoo podcast, INKERVIEWS.